Northern Virginia. This is Nova Weekend Warriors, focused on those runners, cyclists, athletes, outdoor enthusiasts, and fans of fitness in the Northern Virginia area. I'm Meg Donnelly, a licensed massage therapist in Herndon, Virginia, focused on those weekend warriors. As with every episode of Nova Weekend Warriors, this podcast is for entertainment purposes only and should not be taken as advice, medical or otherwise. The views of our guests in each episode are solely their own and not necessarily the views of the Nova Weekend Warriors podcast or of Meg Donnelly in her capacity as a licensed massage therapist. Today we are going to talk about how you can incorporate fitness into your work life so that you can create a work-life balance. I cannot think of two better people to talk about this than with Amy Dagliano and Kate Janich Viggiano of Rowan Tree, Herndon's first co-working and co-growth space. These two women are creating amazing things right here in our community. And I love that the co-working concept that they're putting together includes a focus on fitness as well. Amy and Kate, welcome to Nova Weekend Warriors.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for having us.
Now, you are both very big on work-life balance and the role of fitness in your work-life balance. Talk to me a little bit about what that means to you and how Rowan Tree aims to make that happen.
Sure. So this is Kate. We are both parents who work really hard during the day, and it's important to us to have a well-balanced way of living. And we realized that we all tend to put ourselves on the back burner. The first thing to go is our health. And I'll let Amy talk to her experience, which is a little bit even more of a bigger reason what's behind what we're doing. But what we're going to do is we're going to have a landing place for women and awesome people, because all are welcome, to work. So we'll have a co-working space. We'll have places where they can meet, like conference rooms and team rooms, where they can connect with other people in the community, where they can be well, which means we're going to have on-site fitness, specifically starting with yoga and meditation and mindfulness, and where they can also create. So we'll also have some creative and personal growth workshops as well. But I want to tell a little bit about how we got to this, because it's really personal to us. For me, of course, I always try to be healthy, and we have family history of women getting overweight and dying early. So I'm trying to protect my body and my family. But Amy, this is Kate, and I want Amy to tell your story a little bit, because it really is the heart of what we're doing.
Thanks, Kate. What happens a lot in Loudoun County is we've come across people are showing up more and more with Lyme disease. And I was unfortunately diagnosed with Lyme disease about 2 years ago. And it really kind of took over my life and had me in bed for on and off for almost that whole 2 years. But as a result of it, I learned I had to change my diet. I had to change my way of working. And I also really had to concentrate on my physical health in a very different way that I had not done in the past. For me, it was all about a day at a time, building up my strength in my body and help using that as part of my healing tools. And so I started out with a little bit of yoga, and then I started out with some walking, and now I've just started with running again. And it's so important for my healing, but also my balance of life, to have that outlet of physical activity and to really just slowly build on my strength and know what's right for my body. And one is it's too much as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's super important. And we had talked offline, and one of the things I thought that was really great about what you're doing at Rowan Tree, right? Because the co-working concept, a lot of people already know what that is. One, adding in the co-growth, women growing together or individuals growing together is so huge. And part of that kind of connection, you all had talked about accountability groups. I think you were going to start running for runners and walkers, and just kind of like midday in order to keep ourselves healthy. And Amy, that accountability group or accountability buddy idea actually came right from your recovery from Lyme's disease, correct?
Absolutely. And it started with just getting my daughter and my dog out the door with me, because I knew she was always up for a walk, because it meant we'd end up at the playground. So, but but then I found some women in the neighborhood that were walking. And so it was easy to say, hey, let's meet after the kids are in bed and it's still warm out and we can just kind of get a light walk in. And it definitely, I made myself go because I knew I was meeting other women. And so we really felt that accountability piece was important in the space. And so we when we were in our searching, looking for places to have Rowan Tree, we wanted to make sure it was right along the WO&D trail so that you could pop out and go for a quick walk at lunch, or you could set a time with an accountability buddy to go at 2:00, because as Kate said, so often we put that stuff on the back burner and we don't take care of ourselves when we're busy and stressed. And so having that person to help get you out the door and keep that part of your life balanced, it is hugely effective on your happiness and your productivity.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's so exciting too, because one, a lot of us will kind of squeeze our exercise into the morning or into the evening. And another one of my guests that I was recently talking to, we were talking about that. That's absolutely great because you're getting it in for the day. But a lot of us have jobs, a lot of us have things, and we end up sedentary between the middle of the day. And this is a great opportunity to work mind, body, and soul. And in the middle of the day, get a nice break. Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
And at this time, I want to mention today's sponsor. Today's episode is sponsored by Eldon Street Tea Shop, Herndon's tiny tea shop helping you live the loose leaf life. I love Eldon Street Tea Shop. They're actually the only teas that we carry when you are in the massage studio. Rachel knows a lot about teas and just super excited to have Eldon Street Tea Shop coming into their permanent space very soon. So you can check them out on eldonstreettea.com. And now back to our episode. Tell me a little bit more about ways that you're weaving health and well-being into Rowan Tree.
Well, I think we're trying to make it convenient for people. That's one of the biggest barriers to success in staying healthy and well. So we're just getting started. We are going to, as Amy mentioned, be very nearby to the WO&D trail. We're going to have a mix of yoga folks coming in to help teach classes. We'll probably do some little flash yoga as well, do some stretching. We're actually also looking into developing some partnerships with some local businesses who might be able to help provide some healthy food on site as well. We've seen some other co-working spaces that do a great job of, again, making it easy and convenient for their members to get food there. We are exploring ways to make it easier for people to order healthy food. And again, so when they go there, it's a whole wellness experience. It's about moving, working, connecting, which is also good for your soul and your health as well, actually. And that's one other thing that I find really interesting about all of this is people are happier and healthier, not just when they're working out, which is makes a tremendous difference, but actually people who have connections with others are proven to be healthier and happier and even live longer. So really what we're doing here is wrapping all of this into one place. And again, making it easy for people to be healthy and well and happy.
Yes, and I think we focus a lot on physical fitness, but what we're talking about now is taking that to a whole nother level, and it's kind of like brain fitness, right? Mm-hmm. And it's allowing us to kind of be be our best self. Mm-hmm. Would you agree?
Yeah, and bring out the best in each other as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Amy, I think I cut you off really quick, so I wanted to give you an opportunity.
Oh, that's okay. I was just going to add to Kate's point, there's also an education factor as well. You know, we're planning to have different workshops around, you know, both professional development and fun things in women's lives, but that wellness piece of it is a huge chunk of it as well, because there's so much education around, you know, eating that is healthier, that is fresh, that is organic. There's education around what exercises work for your body and your lifestyle. There's education around all those types of things. So putting that in place as well, and bringing in partners that have that experience, that they are able to relate to our members and provide them the information that works with their lifestyle.
Absolutely. Now, Kate, when we had spoken originally about setting this up, you had sent a couple of tips and tricks for people that wanted to kind of, things that will make you a little bit more resilient and lead you to happier and healthier lives. Would you care to share some of those tips?
Sure. I think the biggest piece of all of it is actually gratitude. Gratitude, people who are grateful are healthy and happy. And so it's as simple as writing down in your journal or just on a scrap of paper what you're thankful for, or going around the kitchen table and saying it, or actually telling somebody. That's a huge one. There's also the idea of connection. So again, like I was saying before, is when you have a friend, actually people who have a friend at work, there's this amazing statistic. It's something like 70% of people who have a good friend at work say they feel like they can conquer anything when they're there. I think that is what we want to bring to our members, is that feeling of, we can conquer anything when we're together. And it can be your wellness goals, it can be your work goals, it can be your person goals. But we're here to help each other out and reach and be that person we want to be. And we're going to help you get there.
Yes, I love that. And you're absolutely right. The times in my lives where I've had this community of people where we're feeding off of each other, we're not necessarily in front of each other every moment of the day, but get so much more accomplished in that environment for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And I think with, more and more teleworking happening, your space is that much more important, right?
And actually, there's this other interesting book about, I think it's called The Good Place or The Third Place. And the idea is that people tend to have three places where if they have these three places, they feel more satisfied. And it's home, work, and a community. And the thing is that people are working more remotely much more often these days. So they're actually losing two of those three things because they don't go to work anymore. And people, especially once you start having a family, a lot of people kind of get stuck in their own homes, or if you're working from home. So this actually addresses two of those three places in one space. And again, I think brings people that kind of well-being that they're striving for.
What are some other things that you would like people to know about in terms of Rowan Tree and in terms of health, fitness, wellness in general?
Well, right now, we've been talking about Rowan Tree, and some people may be wondering where we are or where we are on this journey. We are working to build the community before we even open our doors. And so we're already hosting pop-up work events and bringing community together. And we actually already even have some founding members, which is awesome because we're building off of each other. We're doing yoga classes together. We're going for walks together. And so the things that are supposed to be happening in the space are happening ahead of time, so that when we do open, hopefully this fall, that we already have hit the ground running, and we've got some of these things in place that are going to help us be really successful and build a really fantastic community that is focused on well-being and on support of one another.
Yes, and you have an amazing group of founding members right now, and you're doing pop-up events so that people are already able to experience Rowan Tree before your doors are opened.
Yeah, we've been working closely with Art Space and the Lake Ann Brew House, and they've been wonderful. We have internet and we have beer at some of the places, but it's been a wonderful way for the community to just kind of drift in and out. And usually we do have a core group of people who like to just hang out during the whole day. And at each of those co-working events, we actually do offer a taste of what we like to say, #WorkRowan. So whether it's a wellness exercise or a professional development exercise or a personal growth exercise, at each event we do offer something. So we've had yoga sessions. Last time we did what we called a sage session, and everyone put in their name in a jar and we pulled it out. And then if your name was pulled, you would explain some type of business issue or just something that you were stuck on, and the group would just help you brainstorm some solutions. It was wonderful, and all of us were able to actually present our own thoughts. It was quick, but we all ended up walking out of there with really good ideas that we never would have come up with our own.
There's these wonderful mini events within your pop-up events that are happening. But in addition to that, what I was really surprised with, shame on me. But when I was attending the events, is how much work was actually getting done.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's great that we